Sure. I don't feel like sleeping tonight anyways. Greentexting to shorten it some. Be around November of last year, Washington State. New to the area, like the woods, so a few friends of mine there that are huge inner-woods fiends decide to take me out into a secluded as hell spot. What the hell? I'll do it. Need some time away from work. Get the weekend off, pack my bag, clean the rifle, and head over to friend's house. End up about 25 or 30 miles from the Canadian border in this forest that just goes on forever. I'm really digging it cause my home state doesn't have shit like this. There's 6 of us and 2 dogs, a Labrador and a Rottweiler. Each person also has either a hunting rifle or shotgun with a handgun, except me. Park cars on this tiny ass game warden or border patrol dirt road and hike about 4 miles into the woods. By this time it's already starting to get a little dark, so we decide to build a fire right off so we can set up tents. 2 of the group and 1 of the dogs go out to gather wood, while the rest of us start setting up the tent. One of those huge sodding 6 to 8 person ones. November gets cold up there. Tents set up in about 15 minutes. The trio still aren't back yet. WTF, must be fucking lol. So we just say screw it and start one from some branches from around the site. Start hearing crashing noises heading our way, like someone running their asses off. The 2 guys come barreling through, wide-eyed as fuck. The dog ain't nowhere to be seen. They start yammering on about seeing one of the other guys out in the woods acting weird, so they started trying to get close. Every time they get close though, he would move away. Said at one point he disappeared, then popped up not 10 feet behind them. Also mentioned a really bad rotten meat and spoiled milk smell popping up around them. Tried asking what was up, no answer. Then apparently he took off, just sprinting like Usain Bolt into the woods. Dog takes off after him barking his head off. The 2 dudes take off after the dog. Lose both the guy and the dog pretty soon, and the smell starts disappearing as well. Far off, hear a weird screeching, followed by a really loud dog's yelp. Then the smell comes back with vengeance. This time, with what they described as mad giggling. They nope the fuck out of there and head back to camp. They get pretty pissed at the dude. All of us that were there vouch for the guy, so pretty soon we're all weirded out, but think it's a really fucked up joke. I say as much and I get yelled at, then have, "Well, where the fuck is the dog then?" tossed at me. Fuck, good point. At this point though, the sun was already well on its way down, so we build the fire up and bring out some common lanterns as well. All of us are huddled round the fire eating MREs, and all guns are at hand. About 15 minutes after dark, the remaining dog, the Rottweiler, kinda perks up and starts growling, and I mean that really fucking aggressive growl. Smell pops up, and the guys were not wrong about the smell. I have smelled rotten deer carcasses that smell fresher. Weird groanings start up, and you can hear branches and leaves crackling out around the perimeter of our camp. Noping intensifies all around. The dog is going ballistic, so one of the guys with a shotgun, let's call him Greg, stands up and fires off 3 rounds of buckshot into the woods. This hellacious screech comes out of the woods and starts moving away from us fast as hell, and the smell goes as well. We wait about an hour, then decide to try and get some sleep with 2 people on guard at all times. First watch is me and another of the guys, Victor. The dog is chilling around the fire as well. 2 hours up, nothing. Wake up Greg and Tom for their turn. Asleep for a little, they'll wake up to that smell and Greg yelling his head off, so we get up and head outside. Greg is looking around the edge of the woods with a spotlight and calling out Tom's name. Ask what happened. They'd been sitting there when they heard one of the guys from earlier calling out from the woods. The dog started growling and rushed the spot, and Tom followed after. Dog has went through some bushes and he'd lost him, so Tom followed him into the woods. Greg had been yelling for him when he heard Tom begin to say something before he was cut off. Shit. Can't leave him out there, So we all put on some clothes, grab a flashlight or spot for each person, and our guns, and head out. By this time the smell was everywhere, and it was making most of us rather nauseous, but we kept going because we wanted to find Tom. Find some of his tracks, but lose the trail when they just stop. Literally no other footprints after a while, and none leading back the way he came. One of the guys at the back is shining his light around, kinda stops and makes an oh shit noise and starts yelling. "You fucking dick, we've been worried sick about you." Rest of group walks over to look, and there's Tom, standing a good 20 feet away, but he's standing all wrong. "You okay, buddy? You need some help?" Just stands there deadpan, and slowly nods yes. A few of us walk over and put an arm around his shoulders to kind of support him. Notice he reeks. "WTF, dude. We haven't even been out here for a full day, lol." Laughs abound, except from him. Think nothing of it except worry that maybe he fell and hit his head. Back at camp, try and lay him down, but he just refuses to, so we let him stay outside at the fire. A couple of us go to sleep, but Greg, Vic and I decide to stay up to keep an eye on Tom. Watching him, he does a weird jerk or muscle spasm thing every now and then. Creepy shit, but think it might be something serious. He's mostly quiet, slow to respond to things until it comes to food. We give him an MRE to eat, and he only eats the meat out of them. Shrug it off as whatever. Then he gets up and starts moving around all jerky-like, looking towards the woods. He asks us if we want to come into woods with him for firewood. Besides the fact that it's pitch black out, besides the fire and the huge stack of firewood we collected on the way back, not all that weird. Jerks something like a shrug before walking weirdly into the woods. At this point we're on guard and don't try to stop him. Greg gets up a few minutes later to step into the tent for something, so I'm outside with Vic when the smell hits my nose like a ton of bricks and I gag hard. Then I start hearing gibbering and giggling. I've never been more freaked out in my life, and you can tell that Vic is feeling the same. Greg comes out in time to hear it really well, then goes inside to wake everyone up. He freezes at the tent flap, then starts cursing, which wakes everyone up. Don't know why he's cussing, but it's working. When they're all up and awake, he counts everyone, and you can see him turn white. "What's up, dude?" Apparently while he was inside he did a quick body count, and there was 4 bodies inside. Someone or something had been chilling in our motherfucking tent without us realizing it had gotten in. Shat bricks and shat them hard. Then everyone starts asking where Tom is. At this time the gibbering gets louder and you can hear a bunch of shit moving through the woods. We hear Tom's voice calling at us from the woods to come help him, but it's all off key, and every now and then he'd start giggling. We build the fire up and sit around it with all the lanterns on full, weapons at hand, until the sun starts coming up. Soon as it's up enough to see, we put the fire out, pack our stuff, and make for the vehicles. On the path back we find the 2 dogs. One impaled on the snap pine, the other one with his neck snapped and twisted around. We start hearing the giggling, and the smell returns, so we start noping hard back for the car. We get there and there's scratches all over them. Most of the windows are smashed out, and the seats are ripped to shreds. Whatever, that shit ain't important, just need these babies to run. Toss keys into ignition and hear the sweet, glorious sound of an internal combustion engine start up. Toss shit in, get in, and we speed out of there. Don't talk about it for a few months, and most of us don't admit it happened. One of the guys with us told me later that he'd seen Tom at the edge of the woods, staring at us as we left, with this creeping fucking grin on his face. I believe him, and I know that I'll never go camping that far away again without a lot more people than 6.